today's video. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing 5 essential habits that you need to thrive as a lawyer. Now, I'm not saying that you have a choice, but you definitely need to inculcate these habits right from the year 1 or 2 of your law school, so that by the time you graduate, you have enough bandwidth to practice these habits on a daily basis, right? So with that said and with that background, I'd like to start with the first habit, and that is the reading habit. Now I understand that habit has been told to you repeatedly by many people, please develop or inculcate a reading habit. However, people often fail to tell, or people don't tell this thing, that why do you need to inculcate a reading habit is firstly because, say, even if you are any sort of lawyer, say if you are a disputes lawyer, you would need to read case files that would that would run into thousands of pages at times, right? Like say the trial court record, then the high court record, then the entire Supreme Court filing, etc. So that bunch entirely comprises of sometimes even more than 500, 600, 1000 pages, and even sometimes more than 10,000 pages, right? And even otherwise also, now clients would give you documents, and from those documents you'll have to say understand everything, the entire case, and then put that in 1 pager or a 2 pager or like a 10 pager petition, right, in front of the court. So if you don't have the reading habit, how are you going to understand this entire bulk of a material and comprise and concise it into like a 10 pager petition, right, in front of the court? So that's one. Secondly, say if you're a corporate lawyer, you would have to read contracts that are, say, worth 200, 300 pages at times, right? So if you don't have the reading habit, if you don't have the speed reading habit, you are not going to be able to, give your best even as a corporate lawyer. And thirdly, lawyers have to constantly upskill themselves. So say for instance, if you are doing a course, if you are attending a conference or a webinar, and you have to read a material for that, etc. Or say even if you are generally helping others, like say if you are going out and giving a webinar and you have to read certain materials for that, for this entire process of upskilling yourself and to be able to help others to upskill in their knowledge of the law, you need to have a grasp over the reading materials that are there with you. So this is the first important element of, say, why should you have a reading habit and how it helps you. Now, how you can develop this habit is, of course, by starting to read small fiction books, something that's actually suiting to your interest. Now, I wouldn't say start reading judgments or start reading case files every day. Of course, that might become boring, say for a first year or a second year student. So in that scenario, I would suggest that you start with something that interests you, and most of the times I've seen that it's fiction books that inculcate the habit of reading, and then subsequently you can move on to bigger materials, right? Now with that said, second point is of course pertaining to communication skills. Now communication skills, I don't mean to say only English speaking skills, it could be any skills. Like say if you go to a trial court in, say, Chandigarh, in Mohali suppose, you would have to speak Punjabi language very fluently. If you go to a trial court in Chandigarh, you might have to speak Hindi very fluently. And similarly, if you go to a trial court in, say, Maharashtra, you might have to speak Marathi very fluently, right? So with that said, you need to have communication skills in the language that is most prevalent in the area that you want to step in. Now say tomorrow you want to become a corporate lawyer, right? And say you want to become a lawyer who focuses on cross-border mergers, suppose. So having an additional knowledge of a language, say French or other Spanish or Chinese language, would definitely be of interest to you, because then you can even communicate very effectively with people from other jurisdictions as well. But before jumping on to other jurisdictions, your communication skills within your jurisdiction pertaining to your job are extremely important. If you are looking at joining companies or law firms, etc., knowledge of English becomes again very important. I've made an entire video on Instagram on how you can increase your communication skills. I'm going to link that in the description below, right? Okay, now third point is, of course, you need to be able to track your progress also. And the point here is that don't compare your progress with someone else's progress. Now, I think this comparison starts right from the time when we step into law school. We see that our peers are interning, say, at bigger law firms, and we are not able to get those internships. We start comparison at that time itself. And, that habit of comparison gets stuck to us even while, we are progressing later in life and we actually graduate out of law school and become a full-fledged professional. I've seen lawyers, becoming a little sad, or becoming a little dejected when they see their peer lawyers getting very good cases right from the start of their career, right? So you don't have to compare your journey with anybody in life. You really need to just be able to understand that if you are making progress daily, and if you can track that progress, that how much progress have I made in terms of whatever I want to achieve, be it an internship, be it a job, be it attaining clients, be it networking for that purpose, etc., you are on the right path. You really need not feel dejected if you look at someone else's success. Of course, even I've been at times, where I felt rejected, like say why my peers are getting more internships than me, why are they getting better internships than me, etc. Right? But at the end of the day, I realized that we are all on our different timelines and we all are on our different journeys, and we need not compare with each other. There are ample number of opportunities for all of us if we are on the right path and if we are tracking our progress daily. Now, the fourth is defining your ethics and sticking to those ethics. Now, there would be a time, even during your law school, even after law school, etc., where you will face a dilemma, wherein say you will get number of opportunities, but you will have to think that whether this opportunity is correct for me, whether I actually want to step on this path. Am I allowed to do that as a lawyer? Is it legally correct to do that? Even if there is a loophole, is it morally correct for me? Is it ethically right to do that thing or not, right? So you have to define your own ethics and then stick to those ethics in the longer run, so that you don't have a different image in the society, so that people associate that sort of ethics to you and they come to you with those sort of opportunities in future, and not every random pool of opportunity is directed towards you, right? So which is why defining your ethics and sticking to those ethics are very, very important. And last but not the least is networking and asking for help. Now see, networking, as much as people would like to say that it doesn't matter if you are great at your work, people are going to give opportunities, etc. I agree to that. But at the end of the day, if you're not stepping out in the industry, if you're not telling people that you need work, if you're not telling people that you exist and that you have the skill set for work, I believe that there are very little times and there are very exceptional people to whom opportunities come inbound and not otherwise. So you have to make an outbound request to people in order for you to help, in order for them to help you. And in that scenario, networking doesn't only mean, again, like asking for help or similar things. It means that you build a connection in the industry. See, the legal industry does not work in isolation. It works in collaboration with each other. So the work trickles down from one person to another person, from a bigger organization to a smaller organization. However, how will that work ever reach you if you have not maintained that relation with the other person, right? Just to give you a very small example, say if you're a disputes lawyer and you're given a task to say draft a legal notice for a check bounce case and you've never drafted a legal notice. So you have to ask for help, right? Like instead of just struggling with it on your own without any resources, might as well step out and ask for help, right? That's one thing. That will ease your time, that will reduce the turnaround time, and that will give you more insights into how you can perform that task better. Secondly, say if you are a lawyer who only deals with corporate matters and suddenly say someday someone comes to you, say for a family matter, for a family dispute matter, right? You can't possibly, of course, handle that because you're a corporate lawyer. So you might as well refer that matter to some other lawyer, which means that you're networking, you have built a trust with somebody actually networked with you in the past, and which is why you could refer that matter from this person to the other advocate, right? That will help the other advocate, and this will in turn help you also, so that tomorrow when the other advocate gets a corporate matter, you get referred to for that matter, right? So at the end of it, I would just like to say that please devote as much time as you can in developing these habits while the law school is going on. 5 years or 3 years, how much ever you have in law school, is the best period for you to develop these habits. So with that said, we've reached the end of today's video. If you have any further questions, if you have any further video requests, please put them in the comments below. And please like, comment, share, subscribe, and share this video with all of your friends. And also, I would like to suggest that if you have any personal queries, if you have any personal mentorship requests, resume drafting, cover letter drafting, SOP consultation, or interview preparation requests, you can definitely reach out to me on my Instagram, which is Career Solutions by Ashna Jain. And I hope I will meet you next week again. With that said, goodbye and good luck.